What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nemo's podcast. My name's Amar Nemo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you get a second, please hit like, subscribe, and comment below. It really means a lot to me. Okay, guys, I just got back, Friday, watching Nobody 2, starring Bob Odenkirk, Christopher Lloyd, and RZA. Now, did I like this movie? Did I not like this movie? Let's find out.
Working too hard. Have to take a vacation.
Hutch, you're on vacation in a town run by the international cartels.
I just want a break.
They're coming after our family. Go fix this, Hutch.
I told you.
Vacation!
Nobody 2, rated R.
Just got back from watching Nobody 2, starring Bob Odenkirk, Christopher Lloyd, RZA from Wu-Tang, Connie Nielsen, Sharon Stone, and one of my favorite underrated martial art actors, Daniel Bernhardt. This movie was very entertaining. I really liked it. Was it better than the first one? Not at all. But you could tell that the budget was a little bit bigger. Not by much. At the end of the day, this movie is made to entertain, and that's what exactly it did for me. Think about it. They literally took Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, a guy known for comedy. He was a writer for SNL, The Simpsons. So this comedy gene is in his DNA, and they turned him into a badass action star, okay? Like, seriously. And Bob Odenkirk pulled it off again. His swagger, timing, comedic instincts make his fight choreography look sharp and believable.
I was a comedy writer for 25 years. That was really just how I made my living. And then I started getting these dramatic roles in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and I thought maybe I could do an action movie because I was in pretty good shape. I mean, which is to say I wasn't damaged in any way. I only broken a few bones in my life. And I was willing to do the training, so I did train, and I learned screen fighting. And I trained for about 2 years while I was still shooting Better Call Saul, and we were writing this movie. And I got good enough to do the stunts in Nobody 1. And then I kept my training up. Even though the movie ended, we shot it, and we cut it. Now, I kept training, just as part of my workout routine. But then I also still carried on training with my friend Daniel Bernhardt, who's one of the great stunt actors of our time. So I kept up that training with Daniel. So in a way, I was able to do more in Nobody 2 because Nobody 2 represents, 6 years of training, whereas Nobody 1 was 2 years of training.
That's thanks in part to Daniel Bernhardt, who trained him. Daniel is someone I really respect. He was once a lead in martial art films, and now he's a staple in huge Hollywood action movies because of 87 North and 8711 Stunt Team, and directors like David Leitch and Chad Stahelski. They did movies like John Wick, Atomic Blonde, Deadpool, and Hobbs and Shaw. I can keep going. They really took over Hollywood, and I love it. They're great action directors, and they know martial arts. Back in the day, Daniel gave those guys opportunities in his projects, and now they bring him into theirs. That's why I always say, stay humble. Treat people with respect. You never know who will call you.
Hi, I'm Daniel Bernhardt.
I get hit in the gut. I get hit again. Get hit again. I hit my head.
That was your idea. That was actually your idea.
How long did we plan that? That's the whole fucking movie right there.
2 years.
That's it. That's what we were trying to do. We talked about that for years.
2 years. And that was one of your points you wanted.
Get punched and hit my head on like a bar or something.
And I'm really glad
because
that you kept
it's
this in.
so pathetic.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you never see Jason Statham do that. You never see Jason Bourne hit his head. You never see Liam Neeson do that.
But that's your comedy, and that was so fun. And that was I swear to God, that was one of the first things he said. Daniel, it'll be so much fun. When I get hit, I whack my head. But we all worked very, very tightly together with Bob because it was very important to us that Bob approved everything, that he was comfortable with what he was doing, also that we had a story, which was actually very, very important to Bob. You want to tell a story, you don't want to just hit, smack, there has to be a story in it. That's the most important thing.
Now let's talk about Christopher Lloyd, and who doesn't love him? Great Scott, Marty. I'm just messing.
I often get the feeling when we're doing a scene together that we could be talking in the scene, acting, doing it, and at the same time he's seeing everything else that's happening within 360 degrees. But he doesn't flinch. It's not like he stops and it just registers. And when we finish the take, he makes the adjustments. But he's very aware in a very cool kind of way. Even when he's looking at the camera and doing his lines and acting, if something happens here that's not quite right, cut, and he's over there. You know, he takes care of it.
But seriously, that guy is a legend. I had the honor of meeting him at Comic-Con a few years ago and getting my Back to the Future 2 newspaper sign. My boy Nate actually got it for me as a gift when we were there, and the price was pretty pricey, I'm not gonna lie, for the signature. It was like $140, but you know, it is what it is. The guy is a legend, and I have it framed right in my living room. Anyway, back to the review. Chris plays Bob's father again, just like he did in the last movie, and this guy steals every single scene. I'm like, I would literally just sit here and watch Christopher Lloyd shoot up a bunch of people and blow shit up. Now let's talk about Connie Nielsen as Bob's wife. She was another highlight for me. I'm glad they didn't make her into a Karen for a second. I'm like, dude, are they really about to make her into like a straight up Karen that hates Bob and hates her marriage and everything? And I'm so happy they didn't. She was literally a badass in her own right in this movie. I loved what they did with her character. Now let's talk about RZA, the leader of the Wu-Tang. He's an actor, producer, musician, of course. If you don't know him, I mean, listen to the Wu-Tang, Break Your Neck, and everything else. This guy has always loved martial arts, and I love that he respects martial arts and the culture. He's brought it to his music, his movies, and everything, and he has a badass sword fight scene in this movie. He really moved like a cool samurai in this film, all right? I'm not going to spoil nothing, but check it out.
Thing that I love about the character Hutch in the Nobody sequels is that he actually can take a punch. In most action films, the good guy never gets hit. He's always accurate and precise. But no, Hutch is like his family life. It's a little bit, it's a little bit unpredictability. It's a little bit of, take a punch, give a punch. And it's not so.
Now let's talk about Colin Hanks. Yes, he is the legend, Tom Hanks' son, and he is a great actor in his own right, all right? And I just wish he was the main bad guy in this movie.
I think the first film did such a great job of sort of establishing the parameters of what could happen in that film, and those parameters just kept getting, amped up and up. To be able to see all of that, knowing what we were going to be doing on the second one really, made me incredibly excited to come and be the bad guy for a little while.
But instead they gave it to Sharon Stone. And while she's a legend, I found her performance too animated and over the top. It reminded me of her role in Catwoman, Halle Berry's Catwoman that is. It was a little wacky compared to, her sharper days in the movies like Total Recall, The Specialist, and of course Casino with Robert De Niro. Directed by Martin Scorsese. I mean, she had the looks and the chops and everything. In this movie, she's just really out there. It is what it is, right?
I get to play his nemesis in this film, which is really great, and it's a part that Bob wrote, and it's a different kind of nemesis. I told Bob he put the hot in psychotic. Just a little bit unconventional, let's say.
John Ortiz also pops up, and he's one of those great character actors you're always happy to see. The third act gave me strong John Woo vibes, especially Hard Target. It's a movie you don't analyze. It's one where you shut your brain off and shut up and enjoy the ride and watch some fun action. That's all I'm saying. It also reminded me of Home Alone a little bit and Rambo Last Blood. I mean, that movie was basically Home Alone, and I liked it. It was cool. Okay, guys, I'm going to rate this movie. I'm going to rate this movie as a 7.1 out of 10. Again, this is my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but let me know in the comment section. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let's talk about it. And if you get a second, please hit like, subscribe, and comment below. It really means a lot to me. And I'm so happy that action movies are finally coming back. There's a lot of good action movies straight to streaming or DVD and stuff. Like Scott Adkins movies. I love Scott Adkins. I think he should be the new Batman. Like, seriously, I know everybody wants Alan Rickerson to do it, and he's cool from Reacher. and he was Raphael in the Ninja Turtle movies, the Michael Bay produced ones. Like that guy, but you need a real martial artist for Batman, and somebody that can really act good, and that's Scott Adkins. But back to 8711 and 87 North, I love what these guys are doing. They're bringing the old school action movies back to screen. The 70s, 80s, and 90s. That hand-to-hand combat, you know what I mean? And the practical effects, like especially with the car scenes and stuff. I love that shit, all right? These are my favorite genres. Is action comedy and martial art action movies. It's the shit. Just saying. All right, guys. Take care. Peace.